What up, Kings fans, and welcome back to On the King's Dime. We've got a brand new series dropping for you today. It's called 3 Things We Learned. We take a look at some of the footage, we look at some of the good things we did, some of the bad things we did, and ultimately how we can get better as a team going forward in the NBL 21 season. First game is against the Cairns Taipans. Bit of a crushing L in the end. I think Jordie Hunter played quite well. We're going to look at him today. A 3-point shooting as well. That was pretty poor. Ultimately, it came down to a final shot featuring Casper Ware, who hasn't really shot the 3 ball this well. It was a 3 from him. We're going to break down some of the things leading up to that shot and also that final play itself at the end. Now, make sure you hit that subscribe button below, hit the bell. Head over to Facebook too. If you want to get in on the tipping comp, that's still open. The 3-2-1 MVPs, guys, don't be shy. Get your 3-2-1 MVP in there. We want to get a fan's perspective, see what that MVP looks like at the end of the season. As many votes as possible, so make sure you guys get in on that. And also want to thank you guys for watching and listening, and hope you're staying safe out there. Let's get into the footage. All right, so we're starting off with Jordie Hunter. It's his first time playing center for us as a starter since he signed for the franchise, and he's got huge shoes to fill with Andrew Bogut retiring, Kickett's injured, and Jarrell Martin's probably not up to match fitness yet. But it'd be very interesting to see how many minutes sort of over the next few games that Jordie Hunter plays, because I think he definitely has a role as kind of the all-round hustling center, rim protector. He showed definitely some aptitude to protect the rim. He got 3 blocks, altered some shots here and there that doesn't come up on the stat sheet. But I think he's got a promising future over the next couple of years, and there's definitely a hole there. If he can tighten up his game, you see there, still a little bit chaotic, still a bit raw, but he's only young. It's only his first year really as a starter with the proper role and responsibility. I think he can be a decent piece for us. I think he can grow into something that actually over the next couple of years works out to be quite a solid rotational play. Kind of reminds me of the way Kickett played that center role last year. Like not your all-round Bogut type rim protecting center, but more of your big body guy. And actually, you know, there he struggled a little bit trying to guard Deng, but actually showed some quickness and some ability and timing, as you see there. Nice block there. The fundamentals are there. It's just patience now. It's just coaching. It's just tightening up those hands, tightening up those little instinctive plays in and around the offense, and just making sure kind of he cements his role. We'll go through some offense after this. We'll look at his fouls as well. But I think, yeah, he's definitely got a future. You have a look at this here. He runs up court, leaving basically 2 guys down low to guard Deng, who's just wide open, and that's a huge bucket in the grand scheme of things with 5 minutes to go. He also fouled out too, which doesn't help. You have a look at these fouls here. You know, it's a bang play. You know, just quietly, you rarely see Casper get those fouls. There, you know, he gets that block shot. He's kind of looking around like, where I don't know what's happening, and then you know he's forced to foul. It's probably a good foul in the scheme of things, really. There, here he just kind of fails to box out Oliver. If you just watch down low here. He's kind of not paying attention, doesn't box out properly, and you know there's some incidental contact, and you know maybe that's not a foul either. Here he's kind of forced to come over and over-rotate because Craig Muller falls on the floor. That's also a foul. And then this final one here, basically Cam Oliver, he's probably got too much power off of one step. You know, he's going to dunk all over everyone here if Jordie doesn't step across and foul out. It's actually a huge moment in the game if you look at where we are as a team. I think we're up 1, just going back through the footage. We're up 1, and I don't think we scored. After he went off the court, we didn't score. And if you look at his scoring at the end of this, we go through his scoring. He scored a couple of the buckets late on in this game that gave us momentum. So it is a shame that he fouled out, but he's got to tidy up a few of those fundamentals on defense. And I think, yeah, over the next few games, we're going to see that. Hopefully he's got another big test coming up against Cam Oliver. Now his offensive stuff. So we ran a lot of high pick and roll action. We started the game sort of getting to the hole, got into transition a lot. There was a lot of stuff going on around the rim. You can see here, catches, you probably should dunk that. I think as the season goes on, he's going to get a little bit stronger, and he's going to dunk that off of 2 feet. Much like this one, where he needs to be a little bit stronger. He gets fouled there, but you know, if he's stronger, he gets 2 hands on that and probably gets the foul and the bucket to shoot a free throw. We ran a lot of high action. You can see here, this is still in the first quarter. He comes up, he sets a screen for Sean Bruce, and you see him go to the hole here. And actually, I thought he slipped on the decal there, but if you go back and watch that again, he kind of catches a stray leg. A bit of an unsportsmanlike foul that was missed by the refs there. But, you know, he probably finishes that if he doesn't get fouled there. There's a lot of split action, so he's going to the hole Guys missing him on splits. He's wide open on some of these. He sets a high screen here. This is still the first quarter. He's pretty much wide open there again. And he's on Machado, seals him. And he probably should go up and grab the rebound again there. But he's, still a little bit raw, as we keep saying. He's, as an offensive talent, he's going to only sort of get better in those scenarios. He'll learn to do the nice shorting the pick and roll there. Great pass out to Newley. So hopefully he can sort of put that in his bag. That's a little bit promising. If we can hit Didi and DJ Vasiljevic in the corners, offensively that's going to give us a new lease on life, because that's something Bogut, a lot of his passing was static. He would sort of camp at the elbow and screen guys with his backside and pass the ball around. If Jordie Hunter can short pick and rolls and find guys in the corner off of overhelping, I think that's really going to help us on offense. You can see here again, dunks the ball. That's good to see. He's wide open on that one. And Casper kind of using him. Guys using him again. He needs to be stronger on that. So that's 3 in this game that he probably should have gone up and finished. I think sort of later in the season, further into a season, he probably finishes those. They're going to him in the post here, and that's a sweet dime. Anytime Newley's wide open on the perimeter and there's a seam to cut, he should always cut, and Jordie Hunter's going to be always looking out for him. Third quarter now, Craig Muller's basically, oi, post me up. And he waits a couple of seconds. He doesn't really identify it. But, he gives Cam Oliver the up and under, a little head fake there, and he scores the bucket. So this is promising. It's looking pretty good for him. I think, that was a nice lob. That's essentially the same play as Sean Bruce dialed up before. This is why Sean Bruce, I think, should be running the offense in the second unit. When Casper's off the floor, I think Sean Bruce actually uses those high picks a lot better than Casper does. But Casper showed in this game, see, that's another short. He probably should have just hit Jordie Hunter on that. And this is a crucial part of the game. He goes up to get that rebound. Still a little bit raw, fumbles that ball out, and probably cost us in the end if we go up 4 there. The Taipans need to look for a 3. They need to kind of, be a bit more desperate. There's 2 minutes to go in the game here. And he gets a high screen. Casper probably should find him, but Sean Bruce finds him underneath with a dime there. That's a nice dime. And then just a pretty gross flop there. Machado trying to get the call. But ultimately, if you look at sort of the end of the game, he fouls out with 2 minutes to go, and we don't score another bucket. And that's a big thing for us, because I think if we go to that short pick and roll, we go to him passing out of the rim run. There's some options there. There's some seams there for him to exploit, and I think he's going to have a big season if he can continue to play this well and sort of iron out that rawness and develop into the talent that he obviously has. So we're going to look at 3-point shooting now, and this is hard to watch. Corner Brad obviously starting out the game. We didn't shoot our first 3 until 5 minutes into the game. Which is good. Like we went to the hole, we were scoring points. Didi gets one in the corner as well, which was good to see. I think if he gets his feet set, off of those Jordie Hunter short rolls, I think he's going to get a few 3s this year, as well as DJ. I don't like DJ. This was his first one. He just walks up and launches it. I don't like that at all. You have a look at this one where he makes the run from the nail basically all the way underneath and then shoots one over his left shoulder. That's the shot that we need to dial up for him. That's the one he needs to get. Casper, that's not the worst shot. That's one that kind of just didn't go down. Didi gets to the hole and finds DJ, who then finds Jarrell in the corner. He misses that. That's not a bad shot either to take. Brad in transition, gives it to DJ, misses another one. That's, some of these aren't the worst. Some are bad, but some of these aren't the worst. Now, just explain to me how Casper hits that, right? Like fading, walking to his left, hitting that, yet he can't hit a set shot. Glover hits that one. That's nice. So I think some of these guys have their spot. That's contested. I don't like that at all from Didi. Like he needs to dribble sort of that out to the 11 o'clock spot. Sean Bruce, that's a good shot for Sean Bruce. Last year he was knocking them down. I think he needs to knock those down as well when he's wide open. Another one up here. Glover sort of driving, finding Casper, finds Brad in the corner. 1 of 2 for Brad, and then that, we can't have launches like that with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Casper just can't be launching shots like that. That's not a bad shot for Glover. So some of these are good, some of these aren't very good. That Tommy Vaudeville, no, definitely not. We can't have you taking shots like that. At least kind of recycle the ball out and let DJ run to a new spot. Look at DJ again, all the way around. He showed that's kind of his play. He runs all the way baseline, comes out and shoots it. He obviously likes it over his left shoulder. And then again, Diddy, another contested shot. We're cycling through. There's so many. I had to kind of condense this. That's just clearly a foul. You watch the replay of that, and Jeric just clearly fouls him. And he was upset. He went up the other end and fouled Jeric as well. Diddy in the corner. I don't like that. Don't like the kind of pump fake, the in and out. I'd like to see him drive to the cup and finish. And this dirty Brad step back. I loved this three. You do not expect Brad Newley to be making threes like that. He knocked that down. That was pretty sweet. He finds Jarrell, who then finds Casper. I still don't know how that's Casper's one shot of the night that he hits, like that going to his left, fading, and he can't hit some of those set shots. And just having a look at this, we go back down the other end. It's 86-87. We're down one. We almost get the foul there. Casper again brings it back out. Moller sets the screen, and then this is some bad execution. I feel like this is some pretty bad execution that kind of leads to this loss. Sean Bruce having to chuck up a prayer rather, like that. But yeah, this leads to this chaotic ending. Machado drives in there. He doesn't get the foul. And Brad Newley should probably just grab that as a rebound. He tries to tap it out. He's trying to do the right thing. It sets up the Taipans for another last shot. If you actually notice, if you look at the in-game clock, it's actually different to the clock down the bottom. So we're sitting at home thinking, 19 seconds, that's heaps of time to bring it up. To me, call a timeout right there. That's, we've got 15 or 17 seconds on the clock. Timeout. There's plenty of time to dial something up. I'd much prefer to dial something up in 17 seconds than in maybe 7 or 8. And also, to me, that's a foul. That's a pretty clear foul. And in the act of shooting, for me, he gathers that if you look at the replay. But, we're biased, and we're always probably going to say that's a foul. They don't go to replay because apparently replay's in the referee's ear now. He sort of says something to Casper that's a foul. But I don't like the fact that we kind of slowed that down. We dribbled it up. It was a chaotic sequence that ultimately it kind of cost us in the end. There's 2 seconds on the clock there. I think they end up putting 3 back on it. For the win, and that leads to kind of this inbounds play, this awkward inbounds play that Casper's doing the inbounding straight away. I don't like the fact that Casper's inbounding this ball. We've got 2 guys grabbing their shorts in Diddy and Brad. Diddy's at the 10 o'clock spot and Brad's in the corner. You got to set something up for Brad Newley here. Surely he's the one that's 2 or 4 from 3. I'd like to have seen Diddy sort of get a quick handoff and maybe fire it into Brad cutting to the hole. So if you see DJ makes that run out, or DJ coming out, go to one of those shots that basically is a strength for these players. We saw Diddy in the corner. We saw Brad Newley, sort of a dirty step back, and we saw, DJ run DJ baseline. That's kind of why I like the 14-second shot clock rather than, dribbling it up and in broken play in the chaos trying to get a bucket. Because we're only down 1. And if you get if you get 2 points there, you get the win. If you get the free throw line, you put it in the referee's hands. I just don't know why we dialed up a 3 there. Personally, playing the percentages, you kind of want to win the game, but you don't need a 3-pointer there. You kind of need just 2. You need to get any score you can possibly get, the highest percentage score. We're going to run through some of the scenarios that we could have seen, some of the plays that are possible. We're going to go through that really quickly. It's been a long one already. It's been about 15 minutes already, but I do want to put together a couple of little plays here. So the first thing you notice, this is one screen, and it's Jarrell Martin screening for DJ, who's not even in the plays. Pause there, and DJ's not even looking. He's not even looking at the ball handler. We've set one screen. Brad Newley and Didi Luzada are sort of outside the play. I would like to have seen guys brought further across, and maybe Jarrell screen for a zipper cut for Newley, maybe come all the way around. If we continue it on, the obvious play they're running, I think this is a pretty obvious play, is it's the handoff Diddy to Casper. Once one guy comes over to the ball carrier, there's only one thing going to happen. Casper from here, if he screens his man, Casper's got a pass to Brad Newley. Brad Newley can probably lay it up. It's fairly low percentage over Cam Oliver. He could probably, contested layup. He had already missed one of those. But essentially, 2 guys are out of the play. There's no point having those guys even there. A little bit more screening would have been good. So if we keep running through, the other thing is Brad Newley continues his run as though like, he's taking the shot. Oh, okay, I'll just continue to run in the corner, and he just kind of watches this go away. Now one of the plays you would like to see run with this 4 on the floor, DJ on a baseline cut. You could inbound the ball to Jarrell Martin, who could then like slip it to a Brad Newley cutting baseline or something like that. But ultimately, I don't think this play was high percentage enough for this late game execution, and I think it puts a little bit of a question mark on Adam Ford drawing up that play. He's had a couple of instances now where he goes to Casper late in games. I'll have to go back to that game that Will Weaver got kicked out of, but I'm pretty sure there was a couple of late game situations that put the ball in Casper's hands again. We did say on the podcast that's a high risk, high reward shot. If Casper hits that shot, he's the hero, and I like that. It's a nice redemption arc for him. It's a big confidence boost. But ultimately, it's a bit of a bummer. I would have liked to have seen a better, more high percentage play. Maybe not have Casper inbound. Maybe have Casper as the misdirection in this play, like run a sort of split action at the elbow. You could even find Casper, but get him a better sort of elbow jumper, like he hit a couple of elbow jumpers. Or even, 3 seconds is probably really cutting a fine if you're going to get either DJ or Casper to the hole. But yeah, ultimately a bit of a bummer, a bit of a stinger of an L, and we're going to have to move on. We've got another chance on Saturday to beat the Taipans and hopefully do that. And so yeah, that's our breakdown. 3 things we learned. Jordie Hunter, I think, definitely had a great game. The 3 ball needs to be tucked back in the pocket if we're going to shoot 7 of 33. I think we kind of want to make that 7 of 20 or 7 of 21 and certainly get to the hole. Few more high percentage looks, and then this late game execution was a little bit worrying. It's not the greatest piece of execution, especially in the first game. It's nice to come out and show the league that your X's and O's are tight. So that's a little bit disappointing, but it's understandable. It's a new crop of guys. It's a new coach. Everyone's working on making this team better. Now, as always, if you've gotten this far, like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Go over to Facebook and give us a like on Facebook. We'll definitely be putting more content on the Facebook page. The tipping comp and the M321 MVP. Put a 321 MVP underneath this YouTube, or put a M321 MVP underneath the post on Facebook, and get involved. We'd like to see more people get involved with that. And as always, we will see you guys next time on the King's Dime.